My name is Cheryl Smith. I have been a member at North Heights since the late 70s, so I've been blessed to be part of this congregation for so many years. My journey with pancreatic cancer started in October of 2020. Pancreatic cancer, if you know anything about it, its survival rate is only about 7% for pancreatic cancer, so it's a terrible diagnosis. I did chemo for 4 months, and that was during COVID, so being without my family and my church family was especially hard to go through chemo at that time. After chemo, I did 6 weeks of radiation plus chemo. In June of 2021, I had something called a Whipple procedure, and it's the only possible curative thing for pancreatic cancer. So my diagnosis has been both frightening, and yet through it all, I realize that it's a journey that God walks with me. One of the things I've thought about so often is that so many times when people go through tough times, I wonder, how do they survive suffering and fear and death and all of these things without a faith? Jesus deals with our fear of suffering and death, and I think we got to realize that the only hope we have is our hope in Him. God has blessed me through this, despite the fact that there have been some tough days. He blesses us because He loves us. He loves us so much. And He might bless me with physical healing in this life, or He might bless me with physical healing in heaven. That is up to God. It's not up to me. Never has anything made me feel closer to the Lord or walk in a closer way with the Lord than going through this journey. I think any time that you go through tough times, the Lord becomes so real to you. And that's such a blessing. I'm so thankful for the body of believers, for this church, for the people who love me and pray for me, because without my family and all of these wonderful people praying for me, I don't know where I'd be at. There are times when I couldn't pray. All I could do was sob, and God hears even those sobs. You know, one day, every knee is going to bow and every tongue is going to confess that Jesus is Lord. Until that day, we walk by faith, not by sight. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm walking by faith, not by sight. In Psalm 31, 14 and 15, it says, I trust in you, Lord. I say you are my God. My times are in your hands. And that's what it's all about. Our times are in His hands. And the battle is not ours. The battle is the Lord's. So we trust Him in the battle.